Ladies and gentlemen, your mind is the greatest battlefield you will ever face. The struggles for success, failure, happiness, and sadness are fought within the walls of your own head. If you control your thoughts, you control your life. If you fail to do so, you will live as servants of fear, doubt, and limitations. Every thought you let in is a seed. If you sow anger, you will reap destruction. If you sow fear, you will harvest indecision. But if you sow courage, perseverance, and faith, life will reward you with strength, progress, and triumph. The rule is simple. Your outer world is merely a reflection of your inner world. The first step is awareness. Most people navigate life, letting any random thought take control. But you are not most people. From this day forward, you must guard your mind as you would guard a treasure chest. The moment a negative thought arrives, crush it. Replace it with its opposite. If fear whispers, respond with courage. If doubt shouts, answer with certainty. If weakness shows itself, rise with strength. Direct your mind every day, and do not leave it to chance. The mind that is not cared for becomes a breeding ground for failure, but a mind that is disciplined, trained, and focused becomes a tool of creation. Imagine what you desire, feel it, and believe it until that belief turns into action and action into results. Hold the image of your future so firmly that nothing can alter it. Understand this. Discipline in thought is discipline in your destiny. No person, no situation, no obstacle has power over you unless you give it to them through your thoughts. Your life adapts to what your mind commands. So I tell you today, master your thoughts and you will master your destiny. Change your thoughts and you will change your life. Every thought is a seed. What you sow, you reap. If you sow weakness, doubt, and fear, do not be surprised if your life gives you hesitation, failure, and regret. If you sow strength, courage, and perseverance, you will reap victory, growth, and success. This is not poetry, it is a law. The soil of your mind does not care what you plant. It only returns what you put into it. Every thought is building your future, shaping your reality, creating the destiny you are heading towards. The tragedy is that most people fill their minds with weeds every day and then complain about the harvest. They focus on fear. They concentrate on what could go wrong. They fixate on the obstacles in their path and then wonder why their life is full of barriers. But you are not like the majority. You are here because you are ready to take control of your thoughts, and by doing so, take control of your life. The first truth you must accept is this: your dominant thoughts shape your destiny, not the passing ideas that cross your mind and disappear, but the constant thoughts that take root and grow deep. If you constantly think about your failures, you create a failure mindset. If, on the contrary, you think about success, strength, and possibilities, you program your mind for triumph. The universe, your subconscious mind, and the energy around you begin to align with the vibration of your thoughts. What you hold firmly in your mind, you will hold in your hands in reality. But this is where the struggle begins. The mind does not automatically serve you. If you leave it alone, it becomes chaotic, full of doubts, fears, and negativity. The first step is awareness. You must become the watcher of your own thoughts. Every day, in every moment, observe what passes through your mind. Do not let it wander uncontrolled. The instant you become aware of a negative thought, reject it. Do not let it cling. Immediately replace it with a thought of power, a thought of courage, a thought of strength. If the mind whispers, "You can't do it," you must shout in response, "I will do it. I must. I am already on my way to achieving it." If doubt tells you that you are not enough, you must respond that you are more than enough, and that every day you become stronger. The mind reacts to repetition, to conviction, and to belief. Speak into it the thoughts you want to dominate your life. Understand this. Your thoughts control your emotions. Your emotions control your actions. And your actions control your results. Everything begins in the invisible world of thought. If you can master that invisible battlefield, you can master everything else. That is why the discipline of the mind is the discipline of destiny. Visualize your future not in a vague or half-hearted way, but with clarity and force. Imagine yourself already enjoying the life you long for. Feel it as if it were real. Now, the brain does not distinguish between an intensely imagined experience and reality. It starts to wire itself according to the images you hold. The more you see it, the more you believe it. The more you believe it, the more you act accordingly. And repeated action with consistency will turn it into reality. But visualization without discipline is just a dream. You must train your mind every day just as you train a muscle. Just as the body strengthens with effort, the mind becomes stronger in the face of challenges and self-control. Start each morning by consciously choosing your thoughts. Declare who you are, what you want to achieve, and how you will face the day. And every night, review your achievements no matter how small, and reinforce the belief that tomorrow you will rise even stronger. Guard your mind as if it were a fortress. Do not let gossip, negativity, or the poison of small-minded people infiltrate your thoughts. What you allow through your ears and eyes enters your mind, and what enters your mind becomes your life. If you seek greatness, feed your mind with greatness. If you desire courage, nourish your mind with stories of courage. If you yearn for success, surround yourself with voices, books, and people who breathe success. There will be days when negative thoughts will attack you with all their might. There will be moments when fear and doubt seem stronger than faith and confidence. In those moments, remember this: you are not your thoughts. You are the one who controls your thoughts. You have the power to choose. You have the authority to direct. You are not a slave to the voice of fear. You are the one who silences it. And when you start living this way, something incredible happens. Your inner world changes first. You feel stronger, more focused, more determined. Then your outer world begins to adapt and move to reflect that strength. Opportunities appear where there were none before. People are drawn to your conviction. Obstacles that once seemed immovable begin to fall before you. This is the power of mastering your thoughts. So listen to me carefully. If you want to change your life, you must change your thoughts. If you desire success, you must think about success. If you yearn for strength, you must think about strength. If you long for freedom, you must think about freedom. What you hold in your mind with faith and discipline will sooner or later manifest in your life. Every thought is a seed. Plant them carefully. Tend your garden. Feed yourself only on thoughts that bring you closer to your highest vision and eliminate the weeds that could choke your destiny. Control your thoughts, and you will control your future. Change your thoughts, and you will change your life. Your most frequent thoughts shape your reality. The world you live in now is not an accident, nor a coincidence, nor the result of chance. It is the reflection of the thoughts you have repeated, believed, and that have dominated your mind. Every action you have taken first began as a thought. Every success you have achieved was born in the soil of thought. Every failure you have faced was nourished by the same. The truth is inevitable. What you let rule your mind will eventually rule your life. The human mind is the most powerful tool that exists, yet it does not come with a manual. Most people let their mind run like a wild horse, leading them to fear, doubt, and indecision. They wonder why their life feels out of control, but the answer is simple. The rider has lost the reins. You cannot afford to be carried away. If you do not control your thoughts, they will control you, and where they lead will rarely be where you truly want to go. Look closely at your own life. The habits you follow, the decisions you make, and the standards you accept are reflections of what you think about most. If your thoughts are full of limitations, your life will be full of limitations. If your thoughts are charged with power, perseverance, and possibilities, your life will expand in that same direction. The outer world adapts to the shape of the inner world. That is why awareness is so important. You cannot change what you do not acknowledge. Start paying attention to what occupies your mind each day. Your thoughts lift you up or drag you down, push you forward or hold you back. Are you focused on problems or on opportunities? The mind is like a magnet. It attracts to you the circumstances that align with its dominant vibration. You cannot think about failure all day and expect to find success. You cannot focus on weakness and expect to be strong. You cannot repeat your fears and then act with courage. Life follows the command of thought. Once you understand this rule, your task becomes clear. You must take control of what you allow to dominate your mind. Every time a thought of defeat arises, reject it. Replace it with a thought of victory. When fear whispers, respond with courage. When doubt shouts, answer with confidence. The more you do this, the more natural it will become. Over time, the weeds of negativity die and the garden of strength flourishes. Your emotions are slaves to your thoughts. You do not feel weak until you think weak thoughts. You do not feel discouraged until you think discouraging things. But the moment you choose powerful thoughts, your emotions change, your energy increases, and your body moves with more force. That is the chain. Thoughts shape emotions, emotions drive actions, and actions generate results. To change your results, you must start with your thoughts. Visualization is one of the most valuable tools you have. Close your eyes and visualize yourself as the person you want to be. Imagine victory before it happens. Feel success before it arrives. Enter that picture in your mind until it becomes familiar, until it feels natural, until your subconscious begins to treat it as reality. The more you see it, the more you believe it. The more you believe it, the more you act in accordance with it. And when your actions align with your vision, the results become inevitable. But do not confuse this with mere wishing. Thinking without acting is just fantasy. Thought must become discipline. Every day you must intentionally sow the thoughts you want to grow. Nourish your mind with power. Feed it with knowledge, with courage, with stories of overcoming, with visions of greatness. Protect your mind from toxicity, from the voices of doubt, from the noise of negativity, from the weight of small-minded thinkers. The influences you let in will become the thoughts you repeat, and the thoughts you repeat will form the life you live. You must be relentless in this, relentless with yourself, relentless with what you allow in your mental space, because the mind is not an amusement park, it is a battlefield. If you lower your guard, if you allow weakness to infiltrate, it multiplies. But if you stand firm, if you consistently choose strength, if you discipline your thoughts every day, your destiny will adjust to your will. Look at those who achieve greatness in any field. The difference is not that life gave them an easier path. The thoughts that predominate in your mind are quietly building your reality. The difference is that they learn to control their way of thinking. They refuse to let fear dominate them. They did not allow doubt to decide for them. They kept their thoughts focused on possibilities, on victory, on the image of what they desired, until that image became reality. What they carried inside finally showed itself outside. And the same happens with you. If you want a better life, you must first think bigger. If you aspire to success, you must think in terms of success before the evidence appears. If you yearn for freedom, you have to think like a free person before the chains are broken. You cannot wait to see the results to believe. You must believe first, and the results will come. Your dominant thoughts shape your reality. This truth cannot be avoided, cannot be ignored, cannot be broken. Now I ask you, what are you going to allow to dominate your mind? Will you fill it with fear, weakness, excuses? Or are you going to manage it with courage, faith, and unshakable determination? The choice you make is the future you build. Every day, every hour, every instant, you are sowing seeds with your thoughts. Choose well, choose with purpose, choose with strength, because when you take control of your thoughts, you take control of your life. And when you master your thoughts, you will master your destiny. Control begins with awareness. You cannot change what you do not notice. The first step towards transformation is not action. It is recognition. Until you see clearly, you are blind. Until you admit the truth, you are chained. The reason most people get stuck in the same patterns year after year is not because they lack power or opportunity, but because they lack awareness. People go through life asleep, guided by habits they never question, trapped by thoughts they never challenge, repeating the same cycles without realizing they hold the key to free themselves. You have to wake up. You must begin to observe. Observe the thoughts you have. Observe the emotions that arise. Observe the actions you perform without even thinking, because nothing in your life changes until you see it for what it is. Awareness is the mirror that reveals both your weaknesses and your strengths. And once you see it, you cannot deny it. Once you see it, you must decide. Will I continue as I am, or will I rise up and take control? Think about this. Your mind is in constant motion like a river. If you are not aware, that river flows in the direction gravity pulls it, usually towards fear, doubt, laziness, negativity. But when you are aware, you notice the flow, and you have the power to redirect it. You can shift your attention. You can stop feeding weakness and start strengthening your capabilities. Awareness is the hand that takes control of your mind. Without it, you are carried away. With it, you direct your path. Every failure begins as a thought we do not notice. Every destructive habit starts as a decision that goes unnoticed. And every change begins in a moment of awareness. That moment when you realize, that instant when you stop and say, "This is not me. This is not what I want. I need to change." That spark of awareness is the door to your power. Awareness is not comfortable. It will bring your excuses to light. It will show you the truth behind your procrastination. It will teach you how much time you waste, how many fears you feed, how many opportunities you let pass because you do not see your own patterns. But do not fear this discomfort, accept it, because the pain is the signal that growth is near. Awareness is not your enemy. It is your best ally once you understand that the power is yours. When you notice a negative thought, you can replace it. When you feel self-doubt, you can choose to trust yourself. When you feel yourself hesitating, you can choose to act. Without awareness, you become a prisoner of automatic patterns, but with awareness, you are the one who decides. Imagine a warrior entering the battlefield blindfolded. What chance does he have? None. But if you remove the blindfold, even if the enemy is strong, at least he can see, at least he can fight. Awareness removes the blindfold, allows you to face life with your eyes open, ready to win. Start with your thoughts. Most people do not realize how many negative thoughts pass through their head each day. Fear, jealousy, anger, self-criticism. They flow like background music, imperceptible but very powerful. Pay attention. Observe what you tell yourself. Notice how your mind reacts when challenges arise. Observe the story you repeat. Once you become aware, you can change it. Then, move on to your habits. Awareness reveals where your time goes. Awareness reveals the small actions that sabotage your potential. Awareness shows why you feel stuck. Many people complain about their situations, but do not see the habits that create them. By becoming aware, you reclaim your power. Awareness is also the foundation of self-discipline. You cannot discipline something you do not notice. The moment you realize you are seeking distractions, or when you recognize that procrastination is appearing, you can cut it off. Without awareness, the habit wins. With awareness, you win. But awareness alone is not enough. It must lead you to make decisions. Once you see, you must act. Ignoring a weakness after noticing it is choosing failure. If you see a strength and do not develop it, you waste your potential. Awareness opens the door, but discipline walks through it. Awareness hands you the sword, but courage wields it. Control begins with awareness. If you are not aware, you are adrift. You are repeating. You live on autopilot. But when you become aware of your habits, when you look with clarity, you unlock the power to direct your mind, your customs, your future. This is the beginning of change. So I challenge you, from today onward, pay attention. Observe your thoughts, observe your words, observe your actions. Question everything. Ask yourself, is this bringing me closer to my vision, or is it holding me back? Do not act without thinking. Do not live unaware. Awareness is your light, and in that light you will see every chain that binds you. And most importantly, you will see the key to free yourself. Control begins with awareness. Observe and then choose. Choose and then act. Act and then transform. The moment you are fully aware, you are no longer a prisoner of old habits. You are the architect of a new life. Reject negative thoughts. Replace them with ideas that empower you. Your mind is your kingdom, and not all thoughts deserve to be admitted. Every day, intruder thoughts come as guests. Fear, doubts, jealousy, anger, limitations. They knock on the doors of your mind, and if you let them in, they will poison your attention, weaken your determination, and ruin your destiny. But understand this, you are not helpless. You are the guardian of the entrance. You decide who enters. You decide what stays. You decide which voices have power and which are thrown out. Most people live as if they have no control over their thoughts. They allow every dark whisper, every discouraging word, every image provoked by fear to settle in their mind. And then they wonder why their lives feel heavy, why their actions are weak, why their results are unsatisfactory. The truth is simple. You cannot fill your mind with poison and expect to generate strength. You cannot accept defeat and live in victory. The first step is to reject. When the thought of fear arrives, discard it. When the idea of weakness appears, throw it out. When the thought of giving up, of failing, of giving in tries to invade, slam the door shut. Do not negotiate with negativity. Do not give room to its lies. Do not give it a second of shelter. The faster you reject it, the less harm it can do to you. But rejecting alone is not enough. You cannot simply push thoughts aside and leave a vacuum. An empty mind is an open invitation for more intruders to arrive. Once you reject, you have to replace. Change fear for courage. Change doubt for certainty. Change limitation for possibility. Change weakness for strength. This is not just positive thinking. This is mental discipline. It is training your mind to help you instead of sabotage you. Imagine a soldier on guard. His task is not only to keep enemies out, but also to let allies in. If he blocks everyone, he is useless. If he lets the wrong ones in, he destroys the camp. The same goes for your mind. Guard it, not only by rejecting what is harmful, but also by welcoming what empowers you. Fill your inner world with ideas that lift you up, with words that strengthen you, with visions that propel you forward. Understand this. Your mind cannot host two dominant thoughts at the same time. Fear and faith cannot coexist. Doubt and belief cannot sit on the same throne. Negativity and strength cannot live together with all their power. One of them will expel the other. So choose which one you are going to feed. If you concentrate on fear, it becomes stronger. If you focus on faith, fear weakens. If you dwell on limitations, possibilities disappear. If you focus on possibilities, limitations shrink. What you decide to replace determines the course of your destiny. That is why daily discipline is essential. Every morning, intentionally fill your mind with empowering ideas. Read words of courage. Say affirmations of strength. Visualize the victories to come. Prepare your mind before the intruders arrive, so when they knock, your defenses will already be strong. And every night, get rid of what is useless. Review your thoughts. Identify those that weaken you, and decide not to let them return tomorrow. Rejecting and replacing are not one-time actions. They are a lifestyle. The struggle for the mind is continuous, and the cost of victory is vigilance, but the reward is immense. A mind filled with empowering ideas is unstoppable. It radiates strength, attracts opportunities, drives constant action. And when your mind is in tune with your vision, nothing external can defeat you. Look at the stories of great achievements. No champion, no leader, no history maker rose without facing the invaders of doubt and fear. The difference is not that they never heard the whispers of negativity. The difference is that they decided not to pay attention to them. They rejected the intruders and replaced them with visions of triumph. They trained their minds to see possibilities where others saw impossibilities. They clung to empowering ideas until those ideas became reality. And now the same choice is before you. You will suffer attacks of doubt. You will feel fear approaching. You will hear voices urging you to give up, to settle, to abandon. But you must stand firm. You must be relentless with what you let into your mind. Guard it with the same intensity with which you would protect your greatest treasure. Because that is what it is. The mind is the chest that defines your destiny. From this moment on, decide that you will no longer be a victim of intrusive thoughts. Decide that every time a negative idea arrives, you will reject it. Control begins with awareness, that hidden key. Decide that you will instantly replace it with a thought of strength, of vision, of power. This is how you reprogram your life. This is how you turn weakness into strength, fear into courage, and limitations into infinite possibilities. Reject negative intruders. Substitute them with empowering ideas. Guard your mind. Nourish it with power. Watch how your life adapts to the thoughts you decide to keep. Visualization is the seed, belief is the soil, and action is the harvest. But keep this in mind. Weak visualization produces weak belief. If you see your goals half-heartedly, if you imagine your future without intensity, if you treat your vision as a passing thought, it will have no power. You must see it clearly. You must feel it as if it already existed. You must enter that mental picture with all your senses active until it becomes undeniable in your mind. When the image is strong enough, belief is inevitable, and belief is everything. A person who has faith cannot be stopped. Doubt makes you hesitate. Fear makes you retreat, but faith drives you forward. Faith helps you endure when pain comes. Faith lifts you when you fall. Faith motivates you to act even when there is no evidence in sight. Most people do not fail from a lack of ability, but from a lack of faith. And they lack faith because they never visualize intensely enough for long enough for their minds to accept it as possible. Visualizing is practicing to win. Athletes use it to prepare for competition, imagining themselves crossing the finish line before setting foot on the track. Leaders do it to prepare for challenges, visualizing solutions before problems overwhelm them. You must do the same. Imagine yourself reaching the goal before the opportunity arrives. Imagine yourself strong before the challenge presents itself. Imagine yourself disciplined before temptation appears. When you have practiced enough in your mind, you will act with confidence when the real moment arrives. This is the key. Visualization generates beliefs. Beliefs drive actions. Actions give rise to results. Without the first step, the chain breaks. Without a vision, beliefs have no energy. Without beliefs, actions lack force. Without actions, results never arrive. If you want to change your life, you must start by altering the images you carry inside. Every night, before sleeping, visualize. Every morning, before getting up, visualize. Imagine the life you long for. Imagine the victories you are building. Visualize the version of yourself that already exists in the future. Hold that image with such intensity that your subconscious mind begins to consider it as truth. When you do this, you wake up with more energy, you move with more intention, and you face your day with more certainty. But visualization is not an escape. It is an empowerment. Do not use it as fantasy. Use it as fuel. When you see your dream clearly, you must follow it with actions. The vision is not given to you to entertain yourself. It is up to you to demand work from yourself. A powerful vision should not make you feel comfortable. It should unsettle you until you turn it into reality. And do not let the world steal that vision from you. People will tell you to be realistic. They will try to shrink your dreams to the size of their own fears. Ignore them. Guard your vision as you would guard a fire in the wind. Feed it every day. Strengthen it daily. Because the moment you lose the image, you lose faith. And when faith goes out, action collapses. Think of great achievements. They all saw their future long before it happened. They lived inside that vision until the world had no choice but to catch up to them. They believed so strongly that every obstacle became fuel instead of a defeat. This is what you must do. Hold your vision, nurture your belief, and act relentlessly until the image in your mind and the reality around you match. Visualization fuels faith, and faith commands action. If you want more strength, see yourself as strong. If you want more discipline, see yourself as disciplined. If you long for more victories, imagine yourself as a winner. The mind acts first, the body follows, and reality responds. So I challenge you now. Begin to visualize with intensity. Do not let a day pass without having the image of your future clear in your mind. Watch it, feel it, believe it, and then act with everything you have until what was once just a dream becomes an undeniable reality. Discipline in thought is discipline in life. Reject negative intruders and replace them with a powerful destiny. Your life is not formed first by your circumstances, nor by your environment, nor by what others think, but by the discipline you maintain within your own mind. The undisciplined thinker is carried away, distracted, dragged in all directions by fear, doubt, and temptation. The disciplined thinker directs their attention, focused on their vision with a clear purpose, unaffected by the noise. The quality of your life will always be related to the quality of your thoughts. The reality is that thinking without discipline can be dangerous. A mind that is not trained becomes a weapon against its owner. It amplifies fear, exaggerates obstacles, clings to weakness, creates excuses. People fail long before they act. They fail in the way they think. But he who learns to discipline his thoughts, to train his mind like a soldier preparing for battle, becomes unstoppable. Because when your thinking is under control, your destiny adjusts to your orders. Discipline in thought begins with a choice. Every day, thousands of thoughts pass through your mind. You cannot stop them from appearing, but you can decide which ones stay. You can choose which ones receive attention, which ones are repeated, which ones are sown. And repetition is everything. A single thought is like a spark. A repeated thought is like a fire. Without discipline, you feed the fire of fear. With discipline, you light the fire of strength. They wait for conditions to improve before allowing themselves to think differently. They wait to be successful before feeling confident. They wait to receive love before feeling valuable. They wait for an opportunity to arise before feeling capable. That is weakness. That is being enslaved by the outside. The truth is the opposite. Conditions follow consciousness. What you think and believe inside sets the pattern for what you experience outside. Your mind is the command center of your destiny. If it is full of doubt, your actions will hesitate. If your mind is full of fear, you will retreat. If it is loaded with negativity, your life will crumble under the weight of failure. But if your mind is full of strength, your actions will have power. If it has vision, your steps will go in a clear direction. If it is full of perseverance, your life will rise in triumph. The inner world is the soil. The outer world is the harvest. You cannot plant weeds inside and expect roses outside. You cannot sow weakness inside and expect strength outside. You cannot plant failure inside and expect success outside. Life only gives you what you have already given yourself in thought. Every great achievement does not begin with luck or chance, but with the disciplined decision to think in the direction of triumph over and over again, until action and reality align with that thought. So I tell you today, guard your mind, train it daily, discipline it firmly. Do not let fear control it. Do not allow weakness to dwell in it. Do not allow doubt to whisper unchecked. Replace those thoughts with those of courage, perseverance, and triumph. Repeat those ideas until they become a firm belief, and let that belief drive constant action. Discipline in thought is discipline in destiny. If you master your mind, you master your future. If you control your thoughts, you control your life. Every destiny is first written in the silence of thought. Write yours with strength, focus, and discipline, and watch how your life rises to reflect the mind you have trained. Change your inner world, and your outer world must obey. The universe does not bow to wishes, it bows to alignment. Your life is not determined by luck, nor by circumstances, nor by what happens around you. Everything depends on what you carry inside. Every thought, every belief, every image you hold in your mind creates the script that the outer world acts out. If you want change, stop asking the outside to change. Begin from within, and the outside will have no choice but to follow. Change begins with awareness. Ask yourself, what do I think when I am alone? What images do I hold when no one sees me? What voices do I let sound in my head? These private moments are what build your future. The world you see today is nothing more than the reflection of the thoughts you repeated yesterday. And the world you will see tomorrow will only be a reflection of the thoughts you choose today. Hey, you must be relentless with what you allow into your inner world. Stop repeating failures. Stop rehearsing fears. Stop feeding doubts. Every time you repeat them, you make them stronger. Instead, feed your vision. Feed your courage. Feed your faith. The inner world cannot remain empty. If you do not fill it intentionally with strength, it will fill with weakness by default. The outer world cannot resist a disciplined inner world. It obeys it. A person who firmly believes in their vision begins to act with confidence. That action generates results. Those results reinforce the belief, and the belief becomes even stronger. Soon the outer world rearranges itself to match the internal image. What once seemed impossible becomes inevitable, not because the world changed first, but because the person changed inside. You must understand that no one can control your inner world but you. People can speak ill of you, circumstances can oppose you, Setbacks can attack you, but they cannot dominate your mind unless you allow them to. As long as you maintain control inside, you remain undefeated outside. The storm may rage, but if you carry calm within you, you will stand firm. The battle may intensify, but if you carry victory inside, you can press on. This is the secret. Outer change without inner change is only temporary. People look for new jobs, new relationships, new environments hoping that life will change, and maybe for a moment it does. But soon the same problems reappear because the inner world remains the same. True transformation occurs only when you renew your thoughts, when you change your beliefs, when you manage your inner world with discipline and vision. Then, and only then, will the outer world obey permanently. History is full of people who changed the world because they first changed themselves. They were not born into perfect conditions. They were not given guarantees. They encountered obstacles, resistance, and mockery. But inside they carried a vision. Inside, they had persistence, they burned with faith. And that inner world ultimately shaped the outer world to their will. Now that same power is in your hands. Do not wait for life to change. Do not wait for permission. Do not wait for conditions to be perfect. Begin from within each morning. Decide what to think. Decide what to believe. Decide how to see yourself. Create a vision so strong that no external circumstance can weaken it. Repeat that vision until it becomes an unshakable belief. Then let that belief guide your actions, and those actions will forge your destiny. Change your inner world, and the outer world must obey. It is not a suggestion, it is a law. Guard your mind, direct your thoughts, strengthen your beliefs, and discipline your inner vision. Do this regularly, and you will see how life itself adapts to the world you have already created within you. The outside is just a reflection. If you change what is inside, the reflection will have no choice but to follow you. And now you know the truth. Every thought is a seed, and what you sow, you reap. Your dominant thoughts shape your reality. Control begins with awareness, and awareness gives you power. Reject every negative thought and replace it with ideas that strengthen you. Direct your mind every day, because if you do not guide it, it will lead you blind. Visualize your future until belief burns within you. For belief commands action, and action forms destiny. Discipline your thoughts. For discipline in your thoughts is discipline in your destiny. And above all, transform your inner world, and your outer world will have to obey. This is not theory, it is law. The battle is fought within you, and victory begins in your own mind. Guard it, command it, train it, and direct it with persistence and clarity every day. He who controls his thoughts has control of his future, and he who masters his inner world masters life itself. So I leave you with this message. Take control of your mind and your destiny. Do not wait, do not doubt. The power is already within you. Think firmly, believe securely, act courageously, and your life will ascend to the level of your discipline. Change your thoughts, and you will change your life. Change your life, and you will change your world.